So the washer fluid motor is not working in this vehicle, and it looked as if it hasn't worked in a very long time by looking at the dried up contents or washer fluid that's in this container. I removed the top, and I'm also going to remove the reservoir from here. It takes a 3/8 inch bolt and super simple to remove, so I'm not going to show it, but we are going to get it to the side or get it on the bench and diagnose it and see if we can get this thing back going or if we have to replace the motor. So let's get into the video and get this thing back up and running. Alright guys, so we're going to test this out. This is just a typical motor that can go in reverse polarity. It's wired up to disperse the fluid opposed to it flowing back or shooting back inside the reservoir. If you reverse the polarity, it'll go the opposite direction. Just your typical DC motor. Alright, let me get something to fit in there. I think one of my small battery chargers should give us the 12 volts we need to see if this is powering up. See, the housing's cracked too. I didn't see that at first. I have to fix that. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, 12 volt charger. Be careful. Don't want these to touch. If I can get them in there. I'm gonna have to go a different route. I'm touching it and making no noise. Alright, let me try something else. Alright, got an alligator clip on there now. Let's see if we can get something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Let's reverse the polarity and see if the motor turn the other way. Nothing. So we got a bad motor here. It's probably why this hasn't been used. Gonna let some solution sit in here while I order a new pump. Right now, we gotta remove this clip to get this out. Let's spray this first with some penetrant. Since I sprayed it with that penetrant, I was trying to grab it with the pliers around the area where the plug seats in at, and it was just chipping off. That old plastic was breaking off. It was so brittle. As fast as I was clamping onto it, it was breaking off or cracking off. So I'm gonna show you all a trick on how to move this. Super easy. But let's let the penetrant sit in there for a while to help us out. Alright, it's been about 2 days now since I sprayed that PB blaster in here. Since I had to order the pump, I did let the PB blaster sit in there the few days it took for the pump to arrive, so wasn't no rush. They just made it much more easier for us to remove this when we do this little trick. After I sprayed it with a little bit more penetrant, I stuck some needle nose pliers down into those holes or the grooves along the side. There's two of them. They're parallel to one another, and just to try to rotate it before we try to pull it out of this reservoir. So I got it to move a little bit, but you can bypass this step to this next step. After spraying it with penetrant, the very first thing you want to do, take some pliers and pull those leads out, or those brass terminals. Just rotate them a little bit and pull them right out. They come right out. That's the very first thing you want to do. The next thing you need is two screws just a little bit wider than those holes those terminals came out. Two of them. They need to be about 1.5 inches to 2 inches long, even longer than that. These were 1.5 inches, and they were just a little bit wider than that hole those terminals came out. They're gonna screw down in there perfectly and easily. And finally, you need some vice grips to lock onto those two screws. And when you lock onto them, you want to rotate it back and forth slightly while pulling towards or trying to pull it out of that reservoir, and it should come up once it breaks the seal pretty easily. It won't take long. Doing this method prevents you from cracking that housing where that pump seats in by using just a regular screwdriver or a pick tool trying to pick it out of there, because it's been in there for so long, it's seized in there. So this method prevents that, and in my case, further cracking around where that pump seats at in that ring, and possibly damaging the reservoir and needing replacing it as well. But came right out. All right, just cleaned up really nice. So now we're gonna try to glue this back. Just with some crazy glue. It's not that far off. Get something to hold it in place. And just use some crazy glue on it. I got this glue. We're gonna try it. I got a new one right here I'm gonna open up. Gonna see if it's gonna work. So I'm gonna do this tonight and we're gonna see you tomorrow. Oh, here's the new. Alright, let's test this plug out. I don't see why it shouldn't work. Looks good. No corrosion. Alright, let me get the multimeter. And then we're gonna come over and finish this up. So I let the glue sit last night. It appears to be holding. I mean, holding. So that's a good thing. Maybe I'll clean the top up and seal that on. All right, let me get the multimeter. All right, direct current. Turn the key forward, press the button. We're gonna see if we got some. Fingers crossed. So here's the old. I'm trying to keep it back, and the new. Identical sizes. All right, now let's install this thing. The instructions recommend that you use a lubricant on here, not just any kind of lubricant, a powdered graphite, which is here. And we got some graphite lubricant here. This is the powdered. You guys can see it. And stuff is just great to have around. And if you look on here, then it's trying to tell you exactly which one, what they recommend. All right, let's do that. They also want you to install it following this channel or this groove. You see it there, that groove. They want you to align it with this piece here, on that small little indent on that raised or embossed piece of section right there. I'm trying to zoom in. You see that line or that mark. That's your guide to install it within that channel or along the lines of that. So let's mount the camera, open this up. We're gonna put some around this seal, and we're gonna push this thing off in here gently. All right, we're installed, perfectly installed. Couple things I want to note. You want to use 1-inch socket. They recommend it actually. 1-inch socket fits in here perfect to perfection to allow you to push the pump in there and seat it perfectly or properly, as well as the lock ring just pushes it down on there flush. Use a small little mallet. This end's a little softer than this end, and just kind of tapping it in there with this mallet. But yeah, we're gonna test it out now. So let me attach this hose here. Just a small hose. We're gonna run it out into some kind of pail or container. Got some washer fluid. And we're gonna just set it on the car and just test it really quick. All right, we're plugged up. Just got it propped up right here, using the water bottle to retrieve the washer fluid that we're gonna spray out of here. Hopefully everything is all good. Let's put some washer fluid in here and connect the battery and see what we got. No leaks. All right. That's enough. We're covering the pump. That's enough. That's enough. So now we gotta watch the water bottle. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we got. That was fast. That was fast. That was fast. Look at that. I barely held it. All right, we're all good. We can bolt back up. That was in a matter of seconds. That pump is working. A matter of seconds, guys. All right, let's remove all the rest of this, and then we'll mount the pump back up. And yeah, we're all good now. So it decided to want to rain today. It's been so hot, still in the 80s, but it's raining. But with this, I'm gonna probably, I think this is the way it came. This top had been removed, and I've had a few of these off for different cars. I think what makes more sense to me, I mean, I can put it on like this. This is not gonna work because, I mean, you can get it on here, but look at that. That's not gonna work because of that. I just think the best way, or the way makes more sense to me, is here. It's so convenient. You just flip it up here, raise it back. And I'm gonna install it this way because even if you're spilling some, it goes right down, opposed to just running to the back side here. It's just more convenient. This is not in the way of anything. If it goes like this, yeah, this is out the way of stuff, but see how the ladders are facing. And you can pour it. I'll move this back. Yeah, I'm gonna install it. Just like that. I removed the reservoir so I can clean up over here a little bit. The coolant reservoir. Then I'll just install that once I clean up real nice. I have to let the door down. It's raining too bad, but we installed. I used a magnetic bit, 3/8 inch. It's a 3/8 inch bolt to remove it. Hose back connected. And yeah, we're in here. Very easy to remove and install. I'm gonna let this sit overnight before I put some washer fluid in it, and yeah, we're good. So I'm not gonna test it. I don't have the windshield in here. There's the windshield. Be putting that in a minute, and then I'll put the wipers on. I painted those really nice as well, back with the black thing, and yeah, we should be all good now. So hope you guys found this video helpful. We got washer fluid now, guys. Washer motor is working. I don't know how many years. This got set up for so long. Obviously someone tried to fix it, but we got it done. So hope you guys found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like the content. Terrence, I'm out.